Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad that you all showed up on a beautiful Saturday, and we'll have you out of here by 2 so that you can enjoy the rest of it as well. I want to go over the agenda a little bit and some invitations for how we can learn together today, tell you a little bit about what the day is going to be like. So you'll see you have the agenda on your handout. There's also one on the board. My Achilles heel as a facilitator is that I always try to put too much stuff in my agenda. And so I promise you that the time is gonna get messed up almost immediately. And so I will try to shift things on the board as we go, but just roll with it. It'll be fine. I tried to also put if things are conversations or individual so that you know the vibe as we go through different activities. So you had some time to settle in. Like they said, if you need to ever, leave and fill up your coffee or get some water or just go take a breather, feel free at any time. We will have a break and we'll have lunch, but if you need other ones, feel free anytime. We're going to start with some get to know you. We're going to do a little go around in a minute and check in with each other. And then we're kind of going to do 4 different activities that are going to walk us through the process of thinking about how does trauma show up in our school? What can we do about it? What should we do when other people are resistant to change? And then how could we create a vision for what these changes look like long term? And so we'll kind of go through those 4 pieces. I will say that today, we'll have some content. I'll do a little bit of, teaching some terms and things. But today, in a lot of ways, is like a social emotional learning day for you. So if you have students and you do SEL stuff with them, today is a little bit of an opportunity to do some of that yourself and also to just notice as you go through, what's fun about this? What's hard about it? When I ask my students to do reflection and conversation, what does it feel like when I have to do it? So just notice that as you go. And I think that's what I have to say about the schedule. Any questions about the schedule, the timing, anything? Okay. And then just some invitations as we go through our day. Take care of yourself and notice what you need. So like I said, take breaks if you need to be standing instead of sitting. I have a bad back, and so I'm probably going to be up and down and walking around and stretching. So hopefully I'm not too distracting, but if you need that too, go ahead. If you notice that other folks need something, just treat each other with care. I want us to respect confidentiality and privacy, so sort of the rule of what's said here stays here, what's learned here leaves here, right? So if you hear a specific story about somebody else's school or their teaching experience here, don't go and repeat that to people, but share the lessons that you learn. And in particular, the first activity we're going to do around how is trauma present, I'll give a reminder around confidentiality there to not be really sharing student-specific stories. And then the last piece is to consider feedback as a gift. So, we're talking about some kind of intense topics, trauma. It can bring up stuff. If someone says to you, hey, I didn't like what you just said, or that offended me, or hey, could you consider phrasing that a different way, or whatever it is, try to take a moment and just take that feedback in as a gift that they gave you, because when we give someone feedback, it's because we want them to do better and we think that they can. And so, but it's also hard to receive feedback. And so just try to give yourself a little pause of okay, I'm going to take this in, I'm going to listen to it and do our best to hear what they're saying. Questions about any of those or things that folks would want to add? Okay, beautiful. All right, so we are going to, I'm also going to tell you about my goals for today. So here's how I'm showing up for our learning today. My hope is that you will leave today feeling empowered to create change. My hope is that today creates a space that you can learn from one another. The smartest person in the room is the whole room, and so I want you to hear each other's stories, hear each other's wisdom. I want also today to be reflective. I think that teachers really don't get enough time to slow down and think about teaching. And so personally, my favorite part of professional development is usually less about exactly what the speaker had to say, but it's almost more about I had a chance to slow down and think about my teaching, which I don't get to do during the week, right? So I hope that you'll have some time for that today. And then also I hope that maybe you'll pick up a couple things just through the ways that I'm structuring or facilitating that sort of demonstrate what it looks like to have trauma-informed classroom. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get started with this. So where I wanna start today is giving a chance to get everybody's voice in the room. So we're kind of gonna do an opening circle. I think we're gonna not really be in a circle because I don't wanna make you move all your chairs around, but we'll sort of, go table by table around. And so what I'd love for you to do is to share your name. If you'd like to share your pronouns, you can. What's your role in education, like what grade level or subject do you teach? And then your rose and thorn. So a rose is just something going well for you today, and a thorn is something not so well. You can be as superficial as just saying, my rose is that it's sunny, and my thorn is that it's hot. You can choose to share more personally than that, or you can pass that part of the introduction altogether and just say your name and your role. So it's really choose your own adventure. But I just want a chance for everybody's voice to be in the room at least once. Throughout the day, we'll have different opportunities for sharing, but this is a chance for us to at least hear from every person for half a minute. So I'll start, and then I'm gonna start with you guys, and then we'll kind of go around. So I'm Alex. I use she, her pronouns. You just heard my whole bio about what my role is in education. My rose is that I'm happy to be here, and this has been a great week, and I'm also excited to go to Portland today for the first time. And my thorn is the drive there will be long. All right, I think that was everybody. Thank you for sharing. I always do rose and thorn. I've done rose and thorn from third grade all the way through college. And when I do this with my college students, I say, you're going to think it's so cheesy, but by the end of the semester, you're going to love it. And they always do. It's nice to see them week to week. They'll kind of hear each other's stories. Like last week, somebody said, oh, my car was broken down. The next week, somebody will check in. It just gives those little nuggets of connection. And then I also use it sometimes as a formative assessment, right? If everybody's thorn is, I'm exhausted, I didn't sleep last night, I'm cranky, then I just sort of adjust what we're doing that day a little bit. Like if we were gonna do something really high energy, I might make a little shift. So that's your little behind the scenes if you ever wanna use that one.